Alrighty, giant lizard time. This one I've been looking forward to. I really like the way salamanders look. It's just one that I've never been able to really find an excuse to do, until now. Stick around to the end of this one, and we'll see what's coming up next. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Evan, and this is the second video in my First Founding series. This is a series in which I'm painting one Marine from each of the Loyalist First Founding chapters. Today, it's Salamanders. Lots of bright green, lots of airbrush highlights. So, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. If you've seen any of my other stuff, there's no surprises here. Zenithal highlight, black on the bottom, grays and white up top where the light's gonna hit. Its biggest purpose is to give me a good roadmap for later on. Starting out, Camo Green. This one's gonna go all over the lower areas, and it's gonna get highlighted with bright yellow green. Once that bright yellow green's down, I'm gonna add in a little bit of bold titanium white. That color's gonna be used only on the highlights. Alright, first round on the airbrush is done. We're moving over to the brush. Starting with coal black. It's going on all the joints. And something a little bit different. For the salamanders, we're going to black out the shoulder pads and the backpack. This is honestly one of my favorite things about this chapter. It just looks visually different than a lot of the Marines out there. Once I'm done with the brush, I'm going back with the airbrush and putting in the gray and white highlights on that black. The shoulder pad trim's super simple. Copper base, silver highlights. I used it on the Ultramarines, I use it on my blood drinkers. I use this thing everywhere. I love that color. After that, I'm grabbing light umber. We're coming in and hitting the pouches and the grip on the bolter. A little bit of bold pyro red for the eyes. And onto a wash. This is going on real heavy. I'm going to come back in with a wet brush later on and clean it up. To create the visual effect, I'm just adding bold titanium white to the light umber, coming in and doing a lot of slashes. Then later on I'm going to come back in with some thin down light umber, kind of glaze on top of it, and blend it back in just a little more. After that, it's just bold titanium white highlights. Most of this is going to be edge highlighting. Takes a lot of time. You can see we're at 27 minutes now, and we won't get done till about 17. After those highlights, I'm looking around the model. I saw I needed a little bit of silver on the back of the backpack, and then I go back in, play with the leather a little bit more because I wasn't quite happy with that. I'm just doing touch-ups at this point. After I'm happy with how the armor is, I'm going to go in and add a little battle damage. It's just going to be black slashes, black dots, and then white slashes, white dots inside, but not completely obscuring the black. And then this I didn't realize when I did my Ultramarines that would mean I should probably do freehand on all the other models in this series. And I wasn't quite ready for that with the Salamanders. It was a little tough, and I didn't leave myself enough time. I finished up the video here, but then looking at it later on when I was taking pictures, I just wasn't happy. So I actually came back in and added more black lining around it, just to kind of define it from that shoulder pad. And so there we are. That's what, give or take, an hour and a half salamander looks like. I'm pretty happy with it. It was a really fun scheme to do. That green black pattern, I don't know, it was new. It was different. Alright, I told you if you stuck around you'd get to see what we're doing next. And we are gonna paint some white scars. Alright, this one's a little bit of a double-edged sword. I want to paint a white scar. I love them. I like how they look. I don't like painting white though. painted white on my very first Marines ever, and they were horrendous. And they scarred me for life. If you want to be witness to that White Scars train wreck, just hit that subscribe button and you'll see when that video comes out. If you enjoyed this one, go ahead and hit that like button. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and I will see you guys in the next one.